Before everything unraveled, Vito Spatafore was considered a reliable soldier in the DeMio crime family. He wasn't loud or flashy like Paulie, and he didn't chase the spotlight like Christopher. He kept to himself, got his work done, and most importantly, he made money. That's what kept him in good standing. He showed up as early as season 2, usually hanging in the background during meetings or parties. He'd crack a dry joke here and there, but for the most part, he flew under the radar. That made him useful. He wasn't a problem guy. Vito was good at being invisible, which, for a mobster, can be a superpower. As the seasons went on, he started to take on more responsibility. By the time season 4 and 5 roll around, he's running collections, bringing in steady cash, and gaining respect. He even becomes a capo, which is a huge step up. That means he's in charge of his own crew, managing guys under him and kicking up money directly to Tony. Not only is he earning, he's politically smart, not aggressive, not sloppy, just efficient. There's even a moment in season 5 where he jokes about becoming boss. Everyone laughs, but the truth is, Vito isn't totally kidding. He's been playing the long game, and if it weren't for one thing, just one part of who he was, he might have had a real shot. But Vito was hiding a secret. He was gay, and in the mafia, that wasn't just frowned upon. It was seen as a total betrayal of everything they stood for. The mob's identity is built around this hyper-masculine, almost cartoonishly rigid view of what a man should be. Anything that deviates from that, it gets crushed. So Vito constructed this life around himself. He had a wife, Marie, and 2 kids. He made homophobic jokes. He played the part. And every single day he had to live with the fear that someone might find out who he really was. The thing is, people had their suspicions. Back in season 4, there's this scene where he's caught in a compromising situation with a security guard at a construction site. It's a subtle moment, but it's there, a warning sign. The audience starts to catch on, even if the crew brushes it off. That tension builds over time. Vito starts to look more and more nervous, more on edge. He knows he's living on borrowed time. And then, it happens. In season 6, during the episode Mr. and Mrs. John's Sacrimony Request, members of the crew spot Vito at a leather bar, just hanging out, dancing with another man wearing full-on leather gear. There's no spinning this, no way to explain it. The mask is off. Word spreads fast, like wildfire, and the reaction is swift and brutal. Paulie's disgusted. Carlo wants blood. Even Silvio, who usually plays the calm consigliere role, has this look of disappointment and disbelief. It's like Vito committed some kind of moral crime worse than murder. That's how deeply rooted the homophobia is in their world. Tony, surprisingly, isn't as quick to condemn him. He's not thrilled, obviously, but he takes a more pragmatic view. Vito is, after all, one of the top earners in the entire family. And in Tony's mind, money fixes a lot of things. If Vito can still produce, maybe, just maybe, there's a way to bring him back into the fold. But Vito knows better. He knows there's no forgiveness, no redemption. So he disappears. He ends up in a small town in New Hampshire. Quiet. Peaceful. The kind of place where nobody knows who you are or cares who you were. For the first time in his life, Vito doesn't have to lie. He gets a fake name, rents a room above a diner, and starts working there. Just cooking burgers, pouring coffee. And it's here that something incredible happens. He starts to actually live. Not just survive, live. He meets a man named Jim, local guy, firefighter, grounded, gentle, real. Slowly, they form a relationship. They go on bike rides, cook together, laugh. Vito even talks about opening a bed and breakfast. Imagine that. A mob capo dreaming about running a B&B with his boyfriend in the New Hampshire woods. It's touching. It's kind of beautiful. And you start to believe that maybe, just maybe, he can stay there, leave the past behind. But the thing is, Vito's still Vito. He misses the old life, the money, the status, the way people used to look at him with respect or fear. He's free in New Hampshire, but he's not powerful. And for a guy who spent his life climbing the ranks, that loss of identity cuts deep. So he makes a decision that seals his fate. He goes back. When he returns to New Jersey, he tries to make it seem like he's just been laying low. He meets with Tony, floats the idea of starting a clean construction company, and even says he'll take a reduced role. He just wants back in. Tony doesn't shut it down right away. You can tell he's thinking about it, probably weighing loyalty, money, politics. And in a different universe, maybe Vito could have gone back to just being an earner. But the rest of the crew, they won't allow it. Not a chance. The one person who takes it most personally is Phil Leotardo. Phil isn't just another capo. He's also Vito's cousin by marriage. And Phil is old school through and through. He believes Vito's existence is a stain on the entire family, a disgrace. Phil takes matters into his own hands. Lured to a hotel. He thinks he's safe. He's not. What happens next is off-screen, but what we hear is horrifying. He's beaten to death, brutally. There's a strong implication that it wasn't just a killing. It was a punishment meant to degrade and dehumanize him. When they find his body, it's stuffed into a motel room with a pool cue nearby. Is violent, cruel, and intentional. Spatafore is gone. He betrayed the family not because he turned informant, but because he dared to live his truth. Is one of the most quietly devastating in the entire show. It's not just about crime or betrayal. It's identity. About costs to live authentically in a world that demands you stay hidden. What all hit even harder is that the actor, Joe Ganascoli, actually pitched this storyline. He wants to explore what it would look like for a gay man in the mafia, with nuance and pain and vulnerability. Vito's fear, you feel his hope, creeping dread as it all starts to unravel. Filled with cold-blooded killings and violent betrayals, Vito stands out because it's personal. It's not mob politics. It's about a man trying to be whole in a world that punishes honesty. He made his choices. But he had something ill. And then from him. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown powerful, consider hitting that like button and subscribing for more deep dives into the complex characters of The Sopranos. Let me know in the comments. Do you think Tony should have protected Vito? Or was his fate always inevitable?